Okay, just to start this talk and to increase your confusion, I would like to, if you can just pass over this tray, there are a lot of bars inside. You can pick one or you can just think which one you would like to try. Okay, so if I jump the first row because you are already. And another question, are you all familiar with the concept of ultra-processed food? Okay, you all know ultra-processed food. But that's very good that you know, but the fact is that this definition is very difficult to become operative. So there was an experiment that has been done a few years ago. They put hundreds of people, expert, nutritionists, and they asked, for instance, what are these bars? Is it ultra-processed or not? But the story was that they didn't agree. I mean, so even if they are expert, even if they were looking at the information on the package, at the end, there was no significant correlation about the people in the room and the classification. So why is that? Because ultra-processed food, so the NOVA classification, is not a scientific classification. It's a classification, interesting, based on philosophical consideration. So looking at those bars, you can think, for instance, the one with all the seeds and very healthy, that's not ultra-processed. Actually, I think it's ultra-processed because contains some preservatives or because the puffed cereals, and puffing is something that is done only in the industry, so is ultra-processed. We can debate a lot on this, and I'm not going to debate today the definition, but I want to draw your attention on the fact that this is not a scientific classification. And unfortunately, a lot of science is based on this NOVA classification. So if we type ultra-processed food on one of our depository of scientific articles, there are maybe 2,500 articles saying ultra-processed food are bad for your health. And then correlation with the diabetes or obesity, okay, nice, but also with insomnia, diarrhea, attitude to commit criminal action. So it's everything now. So everything is caused by the ultra-processed food. This is, of course, to me, is ridiculous, but I mean, the word is plenty of people saying, and every politician, I don't know, I see in the Netherlands and in Italy, keep on repeating this word. Ultra-processed food is bad. And that's something, from the scientific perspective, okay, I don't mind very much. It's interesting to have this debate, but there is a kind of spillover on policy. And this is really dangerous. Because you have seen a report by FAO already some years ago, now on WHO. So it seems that in the near future, there is the possibility that this ultra-processed classification become a sort of regulation. And that would be fun in terms of what happened when fun, but also sad, because this regulation would be very difficult to implement. Because as we all don't know which are the real ultra-processed food, imagine when this will go into, for instance, someone working in a canteen and say, okay, I cannot use ultra-processed food. Okay, what does it mean? I try, and people tend to interpret the rules in a very restrictive way because it's their responsibility. And I want to make you an example that what can happen. You know that there is this European program, Food and Milk in the schools. Yeah. So there is distribution of milk and fruit in the children to get them acquainted with food and with fruit and milk, the importance. What happens if a kid is lactose intolerant now? They can have, of course, the lactose-free milk. That is ultra-processed by definition, can only be done in the industry with an enzyme. So what happened to this kid? No milk for him. That is not nice, especially not nice in terms of inclusivity and so on. So these are a real problem. Now you all like the whole wheat bread. Nice, eh? It's ultra-processed. You cannot make a bread with whole grain without some technology, enzymes, extrusion, whatever. You need it. So what we can do? We can ban the whole wheat bread. We can ban the infant formula. Maybe some of you here is a celiac. Forget about having a celiac food because it's all ultra processed. So this is really a dangerous area. So we have to me, it's kind of a calling for come back to the basic. We have, you said before, of course, the high fat, high sugar, high salt, that's a risk. But this type of food can be ultra processed, can be not ultra processed. Parmigiano or prosciutto di Parma is fantastic food, is not ultra processed, is high in fat, is high in salt. So that's making overlap between these two things. It's really dangerous and should be avoided. So the point is, go back to the front of pack labeling. We have serious front of pack labeling that can work. I mean, you can have a lot of debate, and among nutritionists there is debate about Nutri-Score, about Nutri-Inform pack. Personally, I like very much the regulation in Latin America country with these signos, the high in sugar, high in fat, high in energy, 3 signals together. So this is an impact for those even not foodies, but want to get rapid information. Whatever it is, to me, the call is come back to the basic, stop chasing the ghost. The ultra-processed is just a ghost. There is nothing there, and I think we have all to put our face. I mean, many of us are involved with industry. I educated so many generation of people working in industry, and we want to do good for our consumer, for the consumers. So let's put our face and not feel like ashamed because we are poisoning the consumers. Of course, there are many food that can be improved. Reformulation, it's something we have to do, but on the other hand, there is also a lot of very good product. I think that the food system should be more proud of what we do in terms of availability of consumer of many products. So that's what I want to say.